What's up, y'all? My name is David, and welcome to the Prep Station. Today, I'm looking for some new dinner ideas, and I'm going to go to one of my favorite places for inspiration, Reddit, specifically the R Food subreddit. This is a great place to go see what other people are cooking, what other people are eating out, and you can get some real good inspiration for dinner ideas, lunch ideas, breakfast, whatever you are looking for. So, with that, let's get started. All right, so here we are on the food subreddit, and if you want to follow along, this is just reddit.com/r/food. There's a ton of different food subreddits. You can scroll down here. I believe they have some linked, some different ones. Okay, yeah, they do. You can look at different types of food, appetizers, Chinese food, condiments. I've already selected a couple of different dishes to go over and see what I might try to do with them and just kind of judge them and see, what we like and what we don't like. So let's check out the first dish I picked out, and that is this blackened seared catfish. Pan-seared, blackened catfish. Pan-seared, blackened, relatively the same thing. It's a pretty decent look on the blackening on this catfish. Looks like it was seasoned well. Different people like different levels of sear on it. Usually I go a little darker on mine, but this looks very good, I would say. The veggies look a little bland. Maybe do a little more with that. But in terms of blackened catfish, it is a delicious way to cook catfish. It's a little spicy. It's fairly healthy compared especially to fried catfish, which is my favorite way of eating it, but not the healthiest way to eat it. But blackened, yeah, it goes good with vegetables. You can do with turnip greens, green beans, baked beans, whatever. But you can also do it good on a po' boy. We're going to look at po' boys in a minute. But blackened catfish, healthy dish, something I want to throw back in there. Haven't had catfish in a while. I actually used to work. My last restaurant job was at a catfish house. So I've cooked many pieces of blackened catfish. But let's move on. I already talked about, we'll go ahead and jump into that now. Po' boys. I love a good po' boy. Now this is definitely a fancier take on a po' boy. You can see this, the classic kind of po' boy bread. You got that real light colored, kind of more soft po' boy French bread. Looks like a kind of more of a harder, crustier roll. Maybe, looks like he might have toasted it. I can't tell. This is maybe it looks like shrimp. There could be some oysters thrown in there. It looks like he's got some peppers, some kind of greens, some purple onion, and definitely a dressing, probably mayo. A traditional po' boy, you're going to have like shredded lettuce, tomato, maybe pickles, and then some type of fried seafood, shrimp, oysters, catfish. You can even make roast beef po' boys are classic, usually with a little mayo on it as well. But a good po' boy they're super delicious, super filling, especially if you make a nice big one. So that is something I definitely want to get into again for lunch. Like I said, I worked at a catfish house. I've made a ton of these things in the day, so wouldn't mind dipping into them again. All right, the next three dishes are going to be a little different, a little more not fancy, but a little more exotic compared to the usual southern fare I do. This here drew my interest: falafel and fries with cabbage, onion slaw, pico de gallo, and cilantro aioli. I've had falafel once, maybe twice, and I liked it. It was really good. It's a vegetarian thing. There's no meat involved, but it was a good filler, a good kind of main protein-ish filling for a wrap. And this one, they threw French fries in there. I probably wouldn't go with the fries. The falafel, I believe, is already fried, and it just kind of, it's filling enough. It's kind of bread. It's not breading, but it's, filling. Cabbage, onion slaw, I would probably rather go with lettuce on mine. I'm not a huge fan of raw cabbage. I'm not a big coleslaw guy. I will eat it on certain things, but this looks more like I'll eat occasionally traditional southern coleslaw with the mayo and all, but these more dry with a little like vinaigrette type dressings on it, not a huge fan of those type of slaws. Pico de gallo I absolutely loved, would definitely throw that on there. The cilantro aioli sounds delicious, would probably go great on it as well. But it's something I definitely want to look into. I've never made falafel homemade. That's something I need to look into because excuse me, down here in the deep south, it is kind of hard to come by. So if I want to have it more regularly, it's something I might have to make myself. This dish definitely piqued my interest. Oxtails, rice, and beans. I've had oxtails, I believe, once. And, this is a real bony, meaty piece of beef. Tons of flavor. What I want to do with oxtails, this looks delicious, by the way, but what I really want to do with oxtails is a nice oxtail beef stew with carrots, potatoes, onions, and now I want to try it once regular like that, but then next I want to upgrade it and go with the Mississippi pot roast style, throwing in the peppercini peppers. I think that would be out of this world delicious with the just all that marrow bony flavor, beefy flavor from the oxtail mixed with the vinegar kick of those peppers. I think that would just be possibly the best beef stew I've ever made. So that's on my agenda. I've been meaning to do it for a while, just haven't got around to it. All right, let's get to the last dish. This is venison backstrap 2 ways. He's got some seared pieces here. This looks almost like ground up into a patty. Some nice mushrooms on top. It's got some potatoes and a little salad. Venison, if you can get your hands on it, is definitely worth it, especially the backstraps. They are delicious. It's not, of course it's gamier than beef, but it is not super gamey, like gonna disgust you. I've had it. It's been a long time since I've had it, probably 10 years plus, but it is good. And if you're wanting something different, like a game meat that's not too gamey, I would definitely recommend the backstraps. You get into the other cuts, of course, when you get into the fat, that's where the more gamey taste is going to come out. But something like the backstraps, they're not super fatty, and it tastes basically like steak, just a little bit different. And of course, how you marinate it will change that, and even if you want even less gamey flavor, you can mask it with good marinades. But yeah, with the price of food lately, I've really been thinking about, man, I wish I was more into hunting. I wish I had been building up all the supplies, all the hunting gear and all. It's just something I never was into as a kid, because my father wasn't into it. My father wasn't a hunter, so I just never got into it. But with the price of meat these days, it sure would be nice to go out and bag a nice sized buck and just come back with a monster load of meat and have dinners for weeks. But if you can get your hands on it, I definitely recommend venison backstraps. They are good. They are delicious. And especially if you can go out and get your own, if you can go out and kill a deer right now, with the price of food, it's definitely worth it. But that is about gonna wrap things up. This is just a test video. We're gonna see about maybe looking into checking out Reddit every couple of weeks and getting some good inspiration for some new meals. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you really liked it, please subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.